Welcome back to the show. Check out these headlines we have for you. Congressman says stablecoin legislation could be very, very close. You're going to want it. David Schwartz talks about XRP price better high than low. I agree with him. We got that and so much more. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and digperspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $2.71 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is off by 3.1%. 68,600 plus for Bitcoin, 3,400 plus for Ethereum, 104.4 billion market cap right now for Tether. XRP at the number 7 spot, 60 cents. We're off by 3.7 on the 24 and off by 6.5 on the 7-day. Range of price very quickly now between 60 and 63 cents. We'll keep an eye on it. But we're hearing that there could be a break to $1 for XRP within the next 7 or 8 days. So head on a swivel out here. And while we're talking about head on a swivel, get your tickets to XRP Las. I tell you, this is going to be a remarkable conference. I know you've been hearing me say it, but let me tell you something. We have already sold out of VIP tickets. The only thing available is the 2-day general admission ticket and the after party ticket. If you have not gotten it, please go get that ticket. I want to meet all of you. And by the way, we are setting record sales with every ticket that is sold now. I'm telling you, this is going to be a spectacular event, and it is going to be the kind of conference that truly will be one of the most important conferences you will ever attend because of the moment of time we are in and the way we have scheduled the events with speakers and panelists to address the topic of the conference, which is a new era of finance. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about from start to finish. It is going to be so exciting. Get your ticket today. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. I want to meet so many people. And today is April Fool's Day, and Tom Emmer's feeling it today. Boy, this is a good one. He says the SEC is a good faith regulator. April Fools. Go Tom Emmer. Yeah. And here's Anthony Pompliano. I want him to give us the part about the U.S. dollars lost 25% of its purchasing power in just 4 years, while Bitcoin has gained 800%. And we know a lot of that has been due to the approval of the Bitcoin spot ETFs. Take a listen to this clip.
It's lost 25% of its purchasing power since 2020. Bitcoin is up 800% during that same time period. And so if we go back to 2020, if you remember, Paul Tudor Jones, Stanley Druckenmiller, many people came out and said, look, I think it's an inflation hedge. Now, hedges are always this weird thing where people expect you buy it and then inflation explodes the next day. But instead, what we've seen is that Bitcoin is a free market asset that trades forward looking. And so Bitcoin's rise, it's up. We have 7 straight months of Bitcoin in the green up till this past month. And so why is it going up?
And
some of it is the ETFs. Well, inflation is coming down year over year, but it's actually, but inflation is actually going up month over month.
It's anticipating the next easing cycle. That's what it's anticipating.
So you could argue, one, it is anticipating the next easing cycle. You could also argue the alarm bell is going off, and actually inflation is not coming down month over month. It's going up, and people see that, and they're buying Bitcoin. And so Bitcoin going up is telling us, wait a second, inflation is a bigger problem than we actually thought.
You know, there's a point in there, and I think he's got a point, because I think that when you understand that the ETF, the spot Bitcoin ETFs, are opening up the ability to get exposure to the asset through the ETF, they're not coming to buy it directly. They're getting exposure to it through that ETF product, through a BlackRock or Fidelity or whoever they choose to go through. And to the point that Pomp's making here, understanding the loss of purchasing power over the last 4 years, knowing that inflation may be projected to come down at some point, doesn't mean that it's down right now. And to the point that he was making, that's why you're seeing Bitcoin month over month still going up, because you could make the argument that it is a hedge. I got to be honest. I've said this on the channel multiple times. I'm going to say it again today in light of this comment here in this segment. And it's this: the approval itself of spot Bitcoin ETFs is evidence enough to me that not only is inflation here, but so is a correction or a collapse coming to the traditional stock market. So head on a swivel out here, ladies and gentlemen. I think there's quite a few signals in there. Just like this is a signal. BRICS are planning some big announcements this year. The summit is going to be all about expansion and the introduction of a new currency, among other hot topics. That's right. The BRICS coalition, which now is expanding up to 14 nations, as many as 30 plus want to join the BRICS coalition. Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Recently, in the beginning of 2024, we saw Iran, the UAE, and Saudi Arabia make their moves to join BRICS. You know, this is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We know BRICS has a new payment system platform. We know that that is all an intent to obfuscate and work around the SWIFT and the SWIFT sanctions, so the SWIFT messaging system and the sanctions that come from the U.S. through it. You know, all of this is being set. Crypto is a very small piece of the pie. It is the tokenization of the world that is the largest, is the pie. That is the pie, right? So, there's a difference between my channel and most other channels out here, right? I'm not chasing green candles. I don't do meme coins, and I'm not downing anyone that does. I hope you make $1 gazillion. But I got here by way of understanding that there was a new financial system being born, as well as a new asset class to come along with it. And that's why I'm here. And this is evidence that that is absolutely on point more than ever. And so is this. Over $1 billion in U.S. Treasuries have now been tokenized on chain. Now, this is showing Ethereum, Polygon, and Solana and other blockchains, helped in part by the recent launch of BlackRock's USD Institutional Digital Liquidity Fund, so that we know that those protocols are being used as of now. And don't forget, Raoul Powell, likes to remind people every so often, the XRP is something you got to watch out for. Well, you know, Pompliano did not like hearing this.
Just owning Bitcoin or any of these other assets. And so to your point, there's a complexity of not only understanding where is usage happening, where developers, et cetera, but that doesn't always necessarily translate to the best returns either. So you have to really balance some of these things and kind of think through that complexity.
I mean, XRP is another one. It has use. There's plenty of use. But it's not the best performing asset. It's a blockchain that gets used.
You can see Pompliano's head just turn like a dog for a little bit.
I mean, XRP is another one. It has use. There's plenty of use. But it's not the best performing.
Right there. It's almost like a dog when he hears a whistle that people can't hear. He's like, what? You know, he's trying to keep it straight, but you know what? Everybody's going to find out, because legal clarity and regulatory clarity is going to show everybody what's really been going on around here. Just like we know HSBC partnered with Ripple. Just like we know HSBC using Medico for tokenization of their institutional products. And we also know HSBC launches tokenized gold product in Hong Kong. We covered earlier, diamonds are now being tokenized. You know, it's happening. Hakuku Bank launches Japan's first deposit-backed stablecoin. Here we go. Now anyone with Hakuku Bank account can use the deposited stablecoin to shop at local stores. We're next. We are next. We are not that far away. How do I know? Well, you're going to hear. This is Representative Congressman Wiley Nickel right here. And listen to him talking about passing the stablecoin bill right here in the United States.
There's two issues, passing a stablecoin bill, which I think we're very close to with, our ranking member, Maxine Waters, and Democrats. Talk to the Fed about it. They're, I think, in what I would say is a very good place for getting stablecoins done. And then the digital assets market structure bill to get, regulations, for the industry here, rules of the road. That's what we're pushing for. Those are the two things where you're going to see votes on both of them in the coming months. And for me, as a moderate Democrat, I'm trying to do all I can to boost the score of Democrats on these issues when they get to the floor, so that we have the momentum to get it done through the Senate. That's the main thing. The main task at hand for me is, how can we continue to get more and more Democrats on board, making the case, the progressive case, for why crypto is so good, why we need to do everything we can to support this emerging blockchain industry. It has a chance to just change the lives for all of our constituents in a really positive way.
That's the kind of knowledge, attitude, and direction we need from all of Congress. And I'm tickled to death that Wiley Nickel gets it, and he's doing everything he can to educate other members and constituents on the Hill so we can get pointed in the right direction very quickly. And the reason I say that is because this new financial system, the greatest financial paradigm shift in the history of mankind, is happening now. And because the world reserve currency is the United States dollar, you're going to find out just how important stablecoin legislation truly is soon enough. Because if you're not aware of it, stablecoin legislation really essentially equates to tokenization, real world asset tokenization. That's what that kicks open. That's the door that gets kicked open with the stablecoin legislation bill if it's done right. Here we go to David Schwartz. He's taking on the question, Ripple preferring low XRP price for payments is senseless, says David Schwartz. The higher the price, the less XRP would be used for transfer of money cross-border. This is the article. Now, we covered this over the weekend. It was a great conversation between Molly Elmore and David Schwartz, and then it extended from the conversation that began, which was over proof of stake becoming potentially targeted by the SEC as a security, as proof of stake. And that conversation blossomed into this question, which was XRP Portugal says, more concerning than that, David. He said, I believe is that some XRP holders are now saying that you never meant to say that XRP needs to achieve a high price for its use case to be efficient. Any thoughts on that would be very appreciated. And we do know that there are lots and lots of influencers out here that have chosen to take a path that, it's a negative outlook towards Ripple. They're trying to split and divide the community when it's really kind of adolescent approach to what's happening in this space. We need legislative clarity, and we're going to see all the demand you could ever want for entrepreneurs, innovators, and developers alike to rush to the XRP ledger. I truly believe that you're going to see that because they're waiting for that clarity, right? And we still have a portion of the SEC case hanging over the heads of everybody in the space that belong or associated with Ripple or XRP. So there we have that. However, he goes on to answer the question here. David Schwartz responds and says, I did say that the higher the price of an asset with a fixed supply, the more practical it is to use that asset for payments or as an intermediary asset. The argument I was responding to at the time was that Ripple would like to see the price of XRP go down because XRP would be more useful for payments if it were cheaper. That argument is nonsensical. And I think most of us, the adults in the room, really do understand that, but that's where we are on that. And I appreciate David clearing that up because there have been multiple people in this space that try to contort or twist or deflate the comments of someone like David Schwartz to suit more a narrative they would like to see take place. And we have to remember that that is not the case, no doubt about it. And don't forget, you'll be able to see the one and only David Schwartz on stage at XRP Las Vegas talking about the ever-expanding XRP ledger, the newest additions and features, and who knows, maybe even what's next. Can you imagine what excites David Schwartz about what is coming in the future? I can only imagine, but you know what? We're going to find out at XRP Las Vegas. Make sure you get your tickets at xrplasvegas.com or click the link underneath the video before they're gone. And make sure you get your room at the MGM Grand and stay right on site. It is a beautiful facility. They have the best shops and foods. It's just a great atmosphere. You're going to love it. So make sure you get your room before that's booked up because it is getting very, very slim out there, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't want to see somebody miss getting a ticket. All right. Well, it's not financial advice from me or anyone else, and we're about to go into the Freedom Zone, and I hope that you guys will join us for this one. Today, we are taking on the greatest threat to Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen, and quite possibly crypto itself. We are going to get into that right now. You need to know about it if your portfolio's got crypto in it. You're going to want to know what's going on here. Join us in the Freedom Zone. You can support the channel for almost next to nothing. DigPerspectives.com, click the Freedom Zone, and come on in. All right.